Hello, it's Lynn Watts here with Wyatt the Wonder Dog Books. And today I want to talk about how we can encourage and grow positive self esteem in young students. So, before I do that, let me just remind you to please subscribe and to like our video. That helps it get out to more people that can use it. So, let's talk about positive self esteem. Um, Back in the day when I was working more with young students, when I had young children myself, the whole idea of positive self esteem was a big deal. But the way that we were encouraged to do that was to give kids lots of positive reinforcement, whether or not it really related to what they had done or what they were doing. So, in other words, we said good job about just about everything. We encourage students all the time. We told kids they were so smart, they were so artistic, they were so athletic when they did every little thing. Well, the trouble with that was it wasn't always grounded in reality. And kids really kind of figure that out on one level. And on another, they had kind of this what can I say, this self esteem that was easily shattered and broken because it wasn't really grounded in reality. Well, I think we're a lot smarter now. And thanks to people like Carol Dweck, who's done so much research on growth mindset and how really to encourage kids to overcome challenges and feel good about themselves in the process. I think we know a lot better what we're doing. So in this video, what I want to do, first of all, is just say, why does positive self-esteem matter? Why do we even care about helping kids feel good about themselves? And I think a lot of it's very obvious. So let me just say that when kids feel about themselves, it actually improves their academic performance. So it's certainly something that in schools we need to pay attention to. Kids who feel good about themselves and have positive self-esteem are resilient, and they also have good coping skills. So when things don't go in their way or when they're faced with challenges, then they're able to tackle those. It improves peer relationships. So we know if we feel good about ourselves, then it's likely we always can also feel good about others and can relate to them better and can encourage others. So that's an important part of relationships. It certainly helps our emotional well-being. I think that probably goes without saying. And finally, it increases motivation. So if we feel pretty good about ourselves, then we're likely to set goals and to be motivated to work towards success because we feel like we can accomplish that. So those are lots of the reasons why positive self-esteem matters. How can we promote self-esteem? These are actually a lot of things that we as counselors do in the schools. But I think it's important to recognize them because it's not always obvious that these are things that then lead toward positive self-esteem. We might think we're just doing them because it's the right thing to do. But there's also an end result, which is that kids feel much more confident, they feel better about themselves, and they're more likely to try new things. So one way, which I've really already mentioned, is to encourage growth mindset. Part of the premise of growth mindset is that we're all learners, not losers, and that failure is a part of success. So that when we see learning as a challenge, as something that we can tackle and always get better at, even if we're not there yet, then that increases our self-esteem. And certainly when we accomplish goals, that helps to increase our self-esteem. Another thing we want to do is celebrate individuality and strengths, recognizing that not everybody is good at the same thing. So one person might be good at academics, another at athletics, another at artistic things. We all have our own strengths, and helping kids to recognize that and appreciate what their strengths are certainly increases self-esteem. Fostering a supportive environment, of course, is goes without saying. Encouraging an environment of positivity, a culture of positivity. I've talked about that in another video, but that certainly not only increases self-esteem, it makes for a better environment where everybody feels valued for who they are. So making sure that there's positive encouragement and that everybody feels a part of things. Teaching kids about positive self-talk. One of the ways that all of us, kids especially, tear themselves down is with negative self-talk, and that can be destructive of positive self-esteem. So we want to teach them how to uh, manage self talk and how to create positive, realistic, but positive self talk for themselves so that they know how to encourage themselves, even perhaps when their environment is not very supportive and encouraging. That's an important part of self esteem. And we want to provide leadership opportunities for kids. And certainly teachers can do this in the classroom, but as counselors, we can also do that. So, looking for a way that a student can be a helper when you're teaching a class, giving them special roles to participate in the lesson, helping everybody to be involved, but to recognizing those kids that perhaps needs some opportunities to be leaders is certainly vital. Picture books and stories, of course, my favorite thing. And there are so many good picture books out there that encourage children to be authentic, to feel good about themselves, to overcome negative self talk, to overcome challenges. And so finding books where the main character embraces a challenge and in a realistic way overcomes it. I mean, fantasy books are great, but they don't always teach kids good coping skills, things that they can actually do. So I think it's important to find some realistic characters, some real characters, like in biographies, for instance, that help kids recognize that they too can be successful in overcoming challenges. And finally, I think, of course, it's obvious to promote kindness and gratitude and empathy throughout everything you do in the school, so that that's a common theme to recognize that kindness counts, that gratitude is a very important part of sharing with each other and being grateful for all of our unique abilities, and of course, having empathy for others helps with self esteem as well. So I hope all of those ideas give you some ideas. I want to thank you, as always, for making a difference in the lives of students, and thank you for listening.